So CNN recently released or posted live footage of a slave auction happening in a small town in Libya. I believe it was in August that this happened. I could be wrong, but there was about a dozen or so men, young African men, that were being held captive and then sold off for as little as 400 American dollars. And then CNN was told of 9 different locations where this was happening, and then many more are supposed to be held during each month. Libya is located in northern Africa, which is right under the Mediterranean Sea, which is right under Europe. Countries like Italy and Greece, for example. It's no secret that many governments in many countries in Africa are very corrupt, and so people have been fleeing from their home cities or their home countries, and they pass through Libya in order to get to Europe in order to have a better and a safer life. Many of these people, these refugees and the migrants, they invest their entire life savings in order to fund this journey for a better life and escape their difficult circumstances. The United Nations says that the number of migrants in Libya is 700,000 people, and tens of thousands of people every year pass through Libya's borders in order to get to Europe. There has been a recent clampdown by the Libyan Coast Guard, which means that fewer boats are going out to sea, which leaves all of these smugglers in Libya with a huge amount of migrants in their hands. First Lieutenant Nazir Hazam of the government's anti-illegal immigration agency has this quote. He says, "They fill the boat with 100 people. The smugglers don't care as long as they get paid, and the migrant may get to Europe or might die at sea." There's a video that CNN posted of 2 Nigerian boys. They're about 22 years old, and they were being auctioned off as, quote, big, strong boys for farm work, and they were sold for about $800 US.
A man addressing an unseen crowd. Big, strong boys for farm work, he says. 400. 700. 700? 800. The numbers roll in. These men are sold for 1,200 Libyan pounds, $400 apiece. You are watching an auction of human beings.
A boy named Victory, who is 21 years old, he was tired of the corruption in Nigeria's Edo state, and so he fled home and spent his entire life savings and about a year and 4 months trying to reach Europe. But when he reached Libya, he was captured by smugglers and auctioned off repeatedly as a day laborer. He was held in really rough living conditions, deprived of food. He was abused and mistreated by his captors. And before his captors would let him go and release him, they demanded ransom money from him and his family. He spent about 8 months in capture before he was eventually released, but then the Libyan authorities held him at a detention center for about 3 months before they let him go back to Nigeria.
No food, no drinking water.
I was sold. On my way coming, I was sold. So after I was sold, they asked me to demand a ransom. The pusherman that put me from Nigeria, I gave him money, he did not pay. So they said since he did not pay, he did not pay that money. They now sold me. I was there, the person who came to buy me gave the man money. They asked me to pay money, so Probably you must have been there for like 3 months. They will start beating you. From a week, they will start beating you so that your money will come quickly. So I was there for 8 months before I could pay my money and I went out. You look at most of the people here, if you check their body, you see the mark, they're beating. With electric, even your boot or they took something like a sharp object. You understand? Most of them lost their life there. Many are dying every day. No phone call. Their family will be thinking that person is dead. He has lost it for our life. You know that he's just in one place suffering. Going back home now, I'm totally frustrated. I don't know where to start from. Because I spent my life savings leaving the country. You understand? Going back home now, a lot of my friends, we start together. Most of them are in Europe now. In the business they are doing, most of them have grown up. So I go back and start back from square one. It's very painful. It's very painful. Even when they gave us food here, water, that's not the main problem to me. The main problem to me is how I'm going to start. That's just the main problem. Because I've lost a lot. My mother have lost a lot too. So it's very difficult. So, all I have to say is that if they say the European Union are helping. So in this kind of case, you deporting numbers of people like this, you don't have to deport them with empty-handed. Because if you look at it, you are deporting us. Before we left, we all have a dream. Isn't it? Yes. We all have a dream. You understand? Hoping that when we get there, we achieve something. Because a lot of people are going there, even through flats, through land. We see what they achieve. We believe that when we get there, we also achieve more than that. That's why we live.
For years now, migrants who cross the Mediterranean Sea have been telling horror stories about kidnappings, beatings, and enslavement. And when they're out of that enslavement, they're forced by the Libyan authorities to go back to their home country or back to where they started. And now they're back to square one, as Victory put it. More than 8,800 stranded migrants have been returned home this year. And the Libyan authorities have received the footage of the auctions, and they said that they're going to launch an investigation into this, but who knows if they'll do anything about it, because the whole system, the whole government in Africa or in Libya, it's all corrupt, and people are getting paid off by the smugglers to not say anything and to not do anything, and that's why it's been this way for years. What I really can't stand is the fact that there's innocent people being born who are basically paying for the mistakes of people in the past, people from Britain who colonized countries in Africa, and they corrupted the entire continent, and now there's people being born there and they're stuck in those situations and there's nothing that they can do to fix it, and they try to escape, but the system's in place where they can't even escape it. They're stuck where they are and they're suffering. It just makes me sad to know that people are being treated this way and that it's how the world is, and people just accept it when they don't have to accept it. You can actually do something to change it and make it better. It may not happen right away, but it will happen eventually. Anyway, I wanted to get this message out there, and I hope that you talk about this with your friends, your coworkers, your family, and try to help any way that you can. Thank you for watching.